Welcome back, folks, to AIM Live. And up next, we're in for the second big news today. Folks, the United States exempts the student F-1 to H-1B visa transfer from the newly announced $100,000 fees. And it's good news for Indian students studying in the United States because the country has issued one of its most significant clarifications to its immigration policy in the last few days. So, the controversial $100,000 H-1B visa free, which was announced under the Trump administration's September proclamation, will not apply to students who are already in the US on the F-1 student visa and who are about to change their status. And this clarification reshapes who pays, who doesn't, and how Indian tech talent will navigate the US job market. So, for thousands of students and early career professionals, it removes a massive financial barrier. And for large IT outsourcing firms, it represents a new cost burden. And for the broader US India talent corridor, it signals a structural shift in the strategy. So, the updated USCIS guidance issued on October 20th makes the exemption explicit. The fee does not apply to any petition requesting an amendment, change of status, or extension of stay for an alien inside the United States where the alien is granted such amendment, change, or extension. So, let me tell you what this means. And this language is decisive. It clearly separates in country talent from overseas practitioners. And this means that students who are already in the United States will not face the $100,000 fee when changing their status. And the new offshore applicants will have to. And this seemingly small line in the guidance carries sweeping consequences for how companies structure their visa strategies and talent pipelines. So now let's dive in and understand who pays and who doesn't. So under the new framework, who pays the $100,000 fee? This includes applicants outside the United States filing the new H-1B petitions. And we have L-1 visa filings and offshore outsourcing entities. And of course, consular notifications and port of entry cases. So now who doesn't have to pay the fee? So F1 students already in the United States changing status to H-1B do not have to pay the fee, as well as existing H-1B holders who are seeking extension or amendment. And of course, we have the petitions filed before the September 21st, 2025 deadline. And folks, the message is quite clear. The US is prioritizing in-country talent over offshore models. These especially who rely on mass visa filings. So why does this matter? Look, Indians account for approximately 71% of all approved H-1B applications. The $100,000 fee initially triggered panic across professional communities, raising concerns that career transitions would become financially unviable. With the new exemption, students graduating from American universities are now shielded. And the intent is strategic, inclusive employers to hire individuals already in the United States rather than bringing in large cohorts of workers from overseas. And this isn't an administrative decision. It is a deliberate restructuring of incentives within the H-1B ecosystem. And the policy will have the most significant impact on large outsourcing firms. This includes Wipro, Infosys, TCS, Cognizant, and HCL, often referred collectively as the witch companies. These firms have historically dependent on offshore hiring through L1 and H1B visa programs. For them, each new petition now carries a $100,000 cost, and the economics of bulk visa sponsorship are being fundamentally altered. And this could lead to a structural shift in their US operations, meaning forcing companies to localize talent pipelines, invest in domestic hiring, or absorb the higher costs. And for Indian students already in the US, we repeat, this clarification is a turning point. It removes a major cost barrier to the H-1B transition, making local graduates more attractive hires for employers. It also strengthens the value of proposition of in-country education and of course the work experience. Besides, it rebalances power between individual talent and corporate visa strategies, And this exemption effectively turns graduates from American universities into the most cost efficient segment of the global H-1B applicant pool. Now let's look at the backdrop between the policy changes. The $100,000 fee originated in a Trump era proclamation in September of this year, and it was framed as a measure to protect domestic jobs. And this decision immediately sparked industry wide backlash. The US Chamber of Commerce called the move misguided policy and plainly awful. Immigration lawyers warned it could hurt American businesses more than foreign workers. Indian IT firms began recalibrating their US hiring strategies in anticipation of the new fee. And the October USCIS clarification did not overturn the policy. Instead, it refined it in a way that shifts the cost burden towards offshore sponsors while protecting students and in country workers. And this clarification directly affects India more than any country. As we mentioned earlier, Indian nationals dominate H-1B visa approvals and make up a significant portion of the F-1 student enrollments in the United States. By exempting students changing status from F-1 to H-1B, the US is preserving a critical pipeline of high-skilled Indian talent. And at the same time, it is discouraging bulk visa filings from large IT service firms. And this dual track policy has strategic implications for India's talent export model and for the future of Indian IT operations in the US. The bigger picture, you may ask, is that this policy shift represents a deliberate re-engineering of how the H-1B system functions. It rewards individuals who have invested in US education or are already embedded in the local workforce. It penalizes firms that rely on offshore supply chains for talent. And more importantly, it sets a precedent for how future visa policies may distinguish between individual talent and corporate visa strategies. Folks, this is simply not an exemption, it's a recalibration of the US immigration system around strategic economic priorities. And our final take is that one line in a USCIS document has rewritten the economics of the $100,000 visa fee. Students are shielded, outsourcing firms are exposed, and this is a decisive movement in how the US chooses to shape its skilled immigration ecosystem. And for our Indian students, it opens doors, but for large IT companies, it raises the stakes. For the US India Talent Corridor, it marks the beginning of a more targeted, strategic era in immigration policy.